It's David Wowee, how you doing? Yunli is out. What are her best light cones? Her signature light cone may be good, but what other light cones are available that can do the trick? And if you do get Yunli's signature light cone, is it actually worth more than her Eidolon one as people have been saying? I'll show you the actual damage numbers, and not just the damage numbers of her signature light cones, but her best free and gacha light cones so you can pick which ones will be the best for your situation. Yunli is a heavy physical damage dealer who relies on her counter attacks. With this in mind, you'd want light cones that increase Yunli's damage and, if you can, her follow-up attacks. Now let's start with some 4-star light cones. For those who pay for nameless glory, the 4-star light cone Nowhere to Run might be one of the weaker options if you've got nothing else available. At S5, it will increase Yunli's attack by 48%. When she'll defeat an enemy, she'll restore HP equal to 24% of her attack. So what this light cone does is it supports two parts of what makes Yunli Yunli. Firstly, it increases her attack, and then it will restore her HP, which could be something important to Yunli since her role is to get hit as often as possible. The drawback with getting a light cone that regens HP is that the HP restore ability is already part of Yunli's kit, and if you have Yunli, you may already have a healer in your team such as Lynx or Huaiyan. So how about damage? I use an awesome tool by Asagi. I've linked to it and my setup in this video description. And remember, there are so many variables to a battle, so it's better not to be too concerned about the specific damage numbers, but the difference in damage between each light cone I talk about instead. Under my specific scenario, we have Yunli dealing 4.36 million damage. As hinted earlier, you can get Nowhere to Run if you've paid to get the Treasury of the Starry Seas and reached level 30 of your nameless glory. The next light cone that may be recommended to you is Under the Blue Sky. At S5, this light cone increases Yunli's attack by 32%. When she defeats an enemy, her crit rate increases by 24% for 3 turns. The attack and crit rate buffs given by this light cone can be useful for Yunli to an extent. You see, this light cone will only increase your crit rate if you defeat an enemy, so you need to assume that firstly, you have a lot of enemies to beat, and secondly, you need to make sure Yunli is the one to beat them. Outside of this, all you get is an attack buff, which by itself could be useful for Yunli. So how much damage does it do? At S5, an E0 Yunli will deal 4.05 million damage, which is significantly less damage than Nowhere to Run. Under the Blue Sky can be an okay 4-star light cone for Yunli if you have nothing else, but I would recommend you start working towards other light cones I mentioned in this video. The attack buffs are reasonable. I mean, 4 million damage is still 4 million damage, right? And as I mentioned, getting that crit rate only comes at the assumption Yunli herself can defeat multiple enemies. What we really want are buffs that can complement Yunli's kit, which are her damage and follow-up damage. Further, Under the Blue Sky can be difficult to get at S5 since it is a gacha light cone and you can only randomly get it from banner pulls. The next light cone is a free light cone and damage-wise is much more effective than Under the Blue Sky. By the way, if you spend hours gaming, you might as well be gaming with style and comfort with a Secret Labs chair. Grab one of the best gaming chairs in the world while supporting this show. Check the link in the description to grab a chair. And this next light cone is called On the Fall of an Aeon, and you might remember it from my Firefly light cone guide. At S5, when Yunli attacks, it increases her attack by 16% in this battle, up to 4 times. When she inflicts weakness break on enemies, her damage increases by 24% for 2 turns. Although the attack percentage buff of this light cone is lower than Under the Blue Sky, it makes up for it by providing a higher damage percentage buff. But the twist with this is that you need to inflict weakness break on your enemies, which could happen most times if you play it right, but it won't always be the case. The attack and damage buffs are incredibly useful for your Yunli, and the fact that you can actually get this light cone to S5 for free is even better. So how much damage can it do? In my setup, Yunli was able to deal a whopping 4.678 million damage with an S5 of this amazing free light cone. But for those who are greedy for more damage, there are even better alternatives out there, both free and gacha. And if you're like me, who has Fall of an Aeon equipped to their Firefly or another character already, you're going to need something else. A comparable 5-star light cone is Brighter Than the Sun, which is Imbibitor Lunai's featured light cone. At just S1, this light cone increased Yunli's crit rate by 18%. When she uses her basic attack, she will gain 1 stack of Dragon's Call for 2 turns. Each stack of Dragon's Call increases her attack by 18% and energy regeneration rate by 6%. Dragon's Call can be stacked up to 2 times. The crit rate and attack buffs given by this light cone can be decent, and since she's very dependent on using her ultimate, the increase in energy regeneration can be useful. But the attack and energy regen buffs only come when she uses her basic attack, which shouldn't be too much of a problem as you won't rely too much on her skills. So how much damage can it do? At S1, in my simulation, Yunli dealt 4.223 million damage, which is lower than if you use the free on the Fall of an Aeon light cone. One problem is this is Imbibitor Lunai's signature light cone, so you're going to have to lend it to Yunli if you have it, and if you don't, tough luck. You'll need to wait for a rerun of his banner and have enough Stellar Jades to hopefully get it. There are other character signature light cones that can give Yunli some similar vibes. I'll go over them quickly. First, let's look at Jinglu's signature light cone, I Shall Be My Own Sword. At S1, I Shall Be My Own Sword can increase Yunli's crit damage by 20%. When an ally gets attacked or loses HP, she gains 1 stack of Eclipse up to a max of 3 stacks. Each stack of Eclipse increases Yunli's next attack by 14%. When 3 stacks are reached, additionally enables her attack to ignore 12% of the enemy's defense. This effect will be removed after the wearer uses an attack. In plain English, this means that this light cone increases Yunli's crit damage, which is what we want, and best yet, whenever Yunli gets hit, her attacks get stronger, and we want Yunli to get hit as often as possible, so this is great for Yunli. With this light cone only at S1, we see Yunli doing better damage with Jinglu's signature light cone than Imbibitor Lunai's light cone at 4.403 million damage. Similarly, you can get some advantages from Blade's signature light cone, the Unreachable side. At S1, this can increase Yunli's crit rate by 18% and increase her max HP by 18%. When she is attacked or consumes her own HP, her damage increases by 24%, of which the effect is removed after she uses an attack. Unlike Jinglu's light cone, this will improve Yunli's crit rate instead of damage and provides healing, but like Be My Own Sword, it increases Yunli's damage when she's attacked or loses HP. What damage does it do? At S1, it deals 4.339 million damage, making it just slightly weaker than Jinglu's light cone. Like Imbibitor Lunai's signature light cone, this could provide you with the damage and follow-up buffs Yunli needs, but like Imbibitor Lunai's light cone, it's a signature light cone that you may want to keep with its designated character, and is a light cone that is very difficult to get again. But these are all gacha signature light cones. How about free ones? The good news is this free one can even be better. A free version of a signature light cone is of course Clara's signature light cone, something irreplaceable, which is interesting as they say Yunli is like an updated Clara. At S1, it will increase Yunli's attack by 20%. When she defeats an enemy or is hit, it immediately restores HP equal to 6% of her attack. At the same time, her damage increases by 20% until the end of her next turn. This effect cannot be stacked and can only trigger 1 time per turn. Since Yunli is like an upgraded Clara, it's only natural that Clara's signature 5-star light cone has some synergies with Yunli. Firstly, it increases her attack and damage, which is good, and it also increases Yunli's HP, which can be useful since she's designed to take in so many hits. But as I explained earlier, HP regen may not be that important to Yunli thanks to her talent and if you have a healer in the team. Crit damage and follow-up attacks are what we want, but still this is a decent free alternative, and in my damage tests, it's even better news. An S1 something irreplaceable can deal similar to the also free S5 Fall of an Aeon light cone. How much damage? At S1 we deal 4.675 million damage. Even if it's free, getting an S5 is pretty difficult to get, but let's say you do get it, you'll be able to deal about 5 million damage. You can randomly get something irreplaceable from any banner pool. Alternatively, you can buy it for 600 Undying Starlights from the Starlight Exchange store. And finally, we have Yunli's signature light cone, Dance at Sunset. And as expected, it complements Yunli perfectly. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're feeling generous, donate a thanks or become a super member. Your small support will go a long way. At just S1, Dance at Sunset greatly increases the odds that Yunli will be attacked and increases her crit damage by 36%. After Yunli uses her ultimate, she receives 1 stack of Fire Dance, lasting for 2 turns and up to 2 stacks. Each stack of Fire Dance increases the damage dealt by a follow-up attack by 36%. So unsurprisingly, this light cone does everything we're looking for in a good light cone for Yunli. First up, it gives her an incredible crit damage bump. As funny as it sounds, Yunli becomes most useful in battle if she gets hit by enemies, and without her light cone, you might find yourself using a bit more brain energy to make sure she gets hit at the right moments. Since this light cone increases its wearer's chances of being hit, you won't have to strategize as often. Since Yunli has fast energy regen and gets to her ultimate quicker than most, Yunli should be able to take advantage of the Fire Dance stack quite easily, allowing her follow-up attack to quickly increase in damage. Is an E0 Yunli with her signature light cone better than an E1 Yunli with a different light cone? Many people are saying to prioritize getting Yunli's signature light cone over her Eidolon 1. I did a damage test, and based on my specific scenario, they are completely right. Using Asagi's fantastic damage calculation simulator, I compared an E0 Yunli with her signature light cone against an E1 Yunli with Clara's pretty decent signature light cone, something irreplaceable. Want to know the results? Nah, I don't want to share them. Should I? Alright, fine, here you go. An E1 Yunli with an S1 Clara's something irreplaceable signature light cone dealt 4.675 million damage in my simulation, which by itself is already fantastic. Now let's look at how much damage an E0 Yunli does with a signature light cone. Are you ready? 6.356 million. That's a 1.68 million damage difference from an E1 Yunli equipped with a strong light cone. So if damage is what you're going for with Yunli, based on my specific simulation, I would definitely prioritize getting Yunli's light cone over a duplicate of Yunli. But there's plenty more to Eidolon, so subscribe now, follow me on X, and join my Discord to be notified as to when my Yunli Eidolon guide will be released. That being said, not everyone will have the time, budget, or desire to get Yunli's light cone. After all, if you're short on Stellar Jades, I personally prioritize getting new characters over duplicates and light cones, and getting them that super powered isn't that necessary. So if Yunli's signature light cone is obviously the best light cone out there, but you can't get it, which are the best alternatives based on damage? Using the Asagi simulator, here's the damage for each light cone I talked about in this video. I've ordered them in terms of damage dealt. The good news for all is that the second and third best light cones on the Fall of an Aeon and something irreplaceable are completely free and just take a bit of grinding to obtain. The bad news is that you may already have on the Fall of an Aeon equipped to someone else, and if you don't want to do a swapsies, you can use another light cone like Clara's signature light cone, something irreplaceable, especially since it will be rare for you to use both Clara and Yunli in the same team.